radio and television, Mr. George Blaha.
Thank you, John. You and KC were supreme tonight. Those are your all-time Piston greats. Let's hear it for the Pistons all-time team. And now let's hear from three men whose eras take us from Cobo to the Silver Dome and on to the Palace. Our first speaker took this town and this league by storm. He was a guard's guard who could absolutely do it all. When he led the league in scoring in just his second year in the league at 27.1 points per game, he was also fourth in the league in assists, and he could fly to the basket. Today, there is no more respected citizen and businessman in our town. The Pistons are very, very proud of Dave Bing.
Thank you very much, George. I am representing the guys who don't like to be called legends. They like to be called the old school guys. I want to first thank Fred Zollner, who was the original owner, who had the foresight to move Detroit from Fort Wayne. And very few people remember him, but without him, there would be no Detroit Pistons. I'd also like to thank and once again recognize a man who they introduced earlier, who just went into the Hall of Fame, the owner of the Pistons, Bill Davidson. The era when the Pistons first moved here, there were guys, if you know your history, there were guys like Gene Shue. There were guys like Bailey Howell. There were guys like Ray Scott who started this franchise in the right direction. And a lot of times people forget about them because they didn't play in this era or play on a championship team. But if you know your history, these are guys that can't be forgotten. Thank you so much. As we moved into the era that I played in, I am happy and proud that a couple of my teammates are here to be recognized tonight also. Our franchise started to turn around back in 1969 when we had the fortune of drafting the #1 player in college, Bob Lanier. Bob. And following Bob, my backcourt mate, Chris Ford. Chris. As a former player in this organization, we've taken a lot of pride in watching one of the greatest teams that donned the floor for a long time, and that was the Isiah Thomas Bad Boys. Now, there's a lot of conversation about which team is best. Was it the Bad Boys or the team led by Chuancey Billups right now, the existing Piston organization? I don't know who would beat who, but I like to be a fan and watch them compete against each other. It's really been my pleasure being part of this organization for the last 40-plus years. We've come a long way, and with the franchise that we have in place today, I'm sure there are great things that are going to happen in our future. Thank you so very much.
Thank you, David. Our next speaker is one of the most beloved athletes ever in our town, and rightfully so. He put his body and soul on the line every night to win games and championships for your Detroit Pistons. a rare blend of great athletic talent and great physical and mental toughness. One of the greatest to ever play this game anywhere, anytime, any place. Number 11, Isiah Thomas.
I'd like to say, this is our house. And I'd like to thank Mr. D for being patient with us and letting us build this house. Because, as Dave Bean said, when I first came along, we didn't have the tradition of the Celtics or the Lakers. I couldn't walk in and get historical information from Jerry West or John Havlicek. I came and got information from Dave Bean. And Dave asked, what is it that you want to do? And we said, one day, when you talk about the Celtics and the Lakers, we want to be mentioned in that conversation. And I'm proud to stand here before you today with all my teammates and our Piston family and you as our fans, because it took a long time before we built our house in '89 and won our first championship. And we called it the Palace because the fathers and the sons and the mothers and daughters who came to our games, we wanted to treat you like kings and queens. And not only that, the most important thing is when Dave Bean said, which team would win if it was Chauncey's team or our team? I don't know which team would win. However, I do know this. When I first came into the league and we talked about building our house and laying our foundation, the discussion they were having about the Celtics and the Lakers was which team was better. Was it Larry Bird's team or was it John Havlicek's team? Was it the Magic Johnson-led Laker team? Or was it the Jerry West team? And I'm proud to stand here before you today and say that we as a Piston franchise, now we can debate which team is better. And there's one guy that didn't make it here tonight, and he wears number 10. And that's our teammate, Dennis Rodman. Worm, wherever you are, we love you, and you're a big part of this family, and one day, you gotta come home. Thank you.
The one and only Isiah Thomas. Our final speaker, like Isiah and his Hall of Fame backcourt mate, the great Joe Dumars, has been an NBA Finals MVP. And you know, to win that award, you have to lead your team to the promised land. Mr. Big Shot did just that in 2004. Here's the Pistons' Chuancey Billups.
It's unbelievable having to go behind Dave Bean and Isiah Thomas, but one thing I can say is, as a member of the current era, it's just an unbelievable, unbelievable honor to be mentioned and being able to sit on the same stage and be mentioned with the greats of the Pistons organization. And I know I can speak for my teammates when I say that. That's an unbelievable honor. I think, you know, all season we've been celebrating 50 successful years with the Pistons organization in Detroit. And I think, you know, these guys and what they mean to this franchise made it possible for us to have this celebration with the work that they put in, the guys that are older than Zeke and them. That's the good way to put it, old schools. But, you know, they made it special. So this is a very, very special night for us. And as a member of the current team, I can tell you that we are definitely not done yet in trying to build this. We will continue to carry on and uphold the tradition of this franchise. And we are going to, in 2 weeks here, start up a very, very successful, long playoff run. And hopefully, at the end of that playoff run, we're going to put another banner up there for y'all at the Palace. Thank you. We love y'all.
I'll tell you what, we put those three great guards up against three great guards from any old team.
One more thing. Zeke, Joe, Vinny, Brewski, Lambeer, Sally. This ain't for the old school. It's for the middle school. But look, I don't know what would have happened in the early 90s, but in 2008, 2007, I take us, baby. I take us.
All right, Big Shot. Are we having some fun tonight at the Palace with the all-time Pistons team? I certainly hope that this has been as thrilling for all of you as it has been for me. What a way to conclude our celebration of the Pistons' first 50 seasons in Detroit. From the early days at the Olympia with George Yardley, Gene Shue, and Bailey Howell, and over to Cobo with Dave DeBusschere, Dave Bing, Bob Lanier, and the rest, and to the Silverdome with those huge, huge crowds. Our introduction then to Isiah and all those going to work group that's already won one title and threatens to win one or more. What a run this has been for the Pistons in Detroit. Congratulations again to Piston owner, Mr. William Davidson. He is a Hall of Famer. Congratulations to all of you. You are certainly Hall of Famers as well. We're going to take a trip all the way down the court here momentarily with these great players as the Pistons' all-time team plays together in a ceremonial fast break, if you will. We're going to fast break all the way from 1957 and 58 all the way to 2008. You're going to love it. I know I am too. This has been one heck of a season celebrating the Pistons' first 50 seasons in the Motor City. This is now a very tradition-laden franchise. All right, is everybody ready? Let's get it started in here now. Chuck Daly hands the ball to Gene Shue, and here comes the ceremonial fast break to Bailey Howell, to Ray Scott, over to Chris Ford. Lindsey Hunter dishes to Mark Aguirre, to John Long, John Sally, Terry Tyler. Back through Spider to Kelly Tripucka. Now Rasheed lobs it to Big Bob in the middle, to Bill Lambier, to Tayshaun, to Buddha, off to Horn. Rip to Isiah, to Dave Bing, to Joe D, to Chauncey. He lays it up and lays it in. Scoring a 50-year celebration capping basket for the all-time Pistons team. Let's hear it for them.
Having a fuel-efficient car is a great thing.